When you're not able to shake something off, it's because you believe in it. You believe in the confrontation. You believe in whatever it is threatening you. Always choosing the higher perspective. Always choosing the bigger picture, the greater landscapes. And, the wonderful thing is that when you zoom out, everything becomes smaller. You get perspective. And it's the same in human life. Kids can have an overwhelming experience, and the adults hardly noticed at all because, they're older. They have more experiences, which means their landscapes have expanded. So they were already zoomed out. But when we are in a very limited consciousness, everything is so big and so important. So whenever something is extremely important to us, we're basically nearsighted, We're in that point in a very small consciousness, which means something that is small in the universe is really big to us. And that's the sign that you are in a low level of consciousness. It's not that you're very much engaged. Because often we'll say when something is very, very important, it's because we're so passionate. No, when we're truly passionate, being passionate is what we're passionate about. It's not what we do. When you are in a state of relating more kind of spiritually to what you do, you don't see it as important. Whenever something is very important to you, you are in a low level of consciousness. You're not passionate or engaged. You're taking responsibility. Because when you are, you will always pan out. You will see the greater context. And you will see what you do or what you're dealing with in that context. And you will always see that, it's not that important. But, it's what I can do. It's just like, when you have your kind of little garden at home and you can grow some vegetables, and you have that and some herbs and stuff. It's not like you're feeding the world, right? It's not that important, but it's important to you. And it can give you a lot of joy. But at the same time, it's not that important. When you zoom out, and yet you can spend hours and hours and days, it can be your whole spare time basically making that little garden work. But in the big picture, it's not important. Zoom out. Always look at the bigger picture and relate to what is actually going on here. Because what you're doing with your little garden is not really growing vegetables. It's learning about life. It's learning about co-creation. It's learning about giving love and respecting nature and looking at the insects and plants and, see how wonderful life is and how it can be part of it. It's restoring your respect for nature. That's what you're doing, because like vegetables, you could probably get better vegetables at a supermarket. More cheaply too, so it's always important to look at what we're actually doing. So when you feel that something is extremely important and you have to defend it, you're in a low level of consciousness. As I say, as you zoom out, things get smaller and smaller and smaller. And as you grow spiritually, everything is just like particles. Nothing is important. And yet, life itself becomes what you see. And you see every particle as part of it. And therefore you understand that each particle is extremely important, but based on their function in the greater picture. Always zoom out.